So many women after the age of 50 think that they have to be a kind of gym rat, go to the gym with a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds in order to do their resistance training and strength training. And that can be really off-putting and makes you think, oh, I'm just not even going to bother. That's not me right now. I've got too many aches and pains. I'm too old for that. And I really understand what that's like. I used to feel a little bit like that when I was my late 40s, just about to turn 50. I did a lot of, classes, Pilates and bar and yoga and things like that. But the idea of really dialing in my strength training was like, I don't know about that. But I really changed my mind on this, and I want to show you how I got started. And in my early 60s, I've been doing this consistently for over a decade now. And I am so glad that I did, because I understand that weight training, resistance training, is not about getting toned. It really isn't. It is about brain health, bone health, insulin sensitivity, pretty much your overall health as you get older. It is what you need to do to be able to age powerfully. And so I am a huge advocate for all the women that I work with, all my lovely clients, for dialing in resistance training. Sometimes it's known as resistance training, sometimes it's known as weight training. You can use those words interchangeably. So I'm going to give you 7 tips of how to get started, how I started, and how I've managed to stay completely consistent for over a decade. And tip number 7 is probably the most important one, so you're gonna have to stick around for that. So the first one is, number 1 is create a workout plan that you're still going to be doing in 5 years' time. Because there's a reason why the gyms empty out mid-February. There's a reason why a lot of your exercise equipment and your weights and such may be in your basement or gathering dust somewhere in a closet. Because you didn't really think, wait a minute, is this doable and sustainable for me? Will I be doing this in 5 years' time? So that's what I want you to be thinking about. And if you bite off more than you can chew, if you think, oh, I've got to do an hour-long workout in the gym, or work with a trainer, or get to the gym, 4 days a week or something, you're probably that's not going to be sustainable. If I said that to myself, that's absolutely not what I can envisage myself doing every single week for the next 5 years. But if I start with a simple workout that I can do in the comfort of my own home for a very short amount of time, that is like, okay, that I can be doing in 5 years' time, absolutely no problem. So I would rather that you start something that's way smaller, that you know that you can do, that's sustainable, rather than try to do this great big complex workout that you're going to be put off by it. You're just not going to be doing it. Okay, so that is tip number 1, is think of the 5-year plan and think, what can I do consistently every single week? And what I recommend for all the women that I work with, and I work with women holistically as a board certified nutritionist and as somebody who teaches yoga and training and the psychology and the mindset and the whole package in my Ignite 4-month program. But what I always say is, you've absolutely got to start with what you can do. We need to start with where you are, and that is different for every single woman, but make sure, let's dial it in. And ideally, for most women over the age of 50, we want to do 3 times a week. Okay, so I don't care if it's 10 minutes, 3 times a week, 10 minutes, that is awesome. I would rather you do that than I've got to do an hour's workout once a week, and then you get to it and you think, I just haven't got an hour, I can't do it, I'm not in the mood. Just keep it small, and that's how you are going to be consistent. That is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is find a workaround, or know there is always a workaround. Now, so many women that I work with, they will have certain things going on in our 50s, 60s, and 70s. There's going to be torn meniscuses, there's going to be frozen shoulders, there's going to be ripped shoulders, there's going to be There's almost nothing that I haven't come across with the women that my clients that I've worked with. But there is always a workaround, and you can find a workaround. If you've got upper body injuries, then we're going to work on your lower body. If you've got lower body injuries, then we're going to work on your upper body until you can do the full body. There's workarounds within a certain exercise. If you have some serious injuries, like I've had a frozen shoulder on both shoulders and a torn shoulder, that necessitated me working with a physical therapist for a short amount of time to find a workaround so I could still work my arms, but at the same time I was sort of rehabbing my shoulders. But I want you to have the mindset that there is always a workaround, because otherwise, if you let an injury or a physical limitation, it could be sciatica or it could be plantar fasciitis, take your pick from the list that is going to happen to so many of us after 50. But if you let that be the thing that it's like, oh, I can't do it anymore, I can't, there's no way I can do resistance training, then you're out of the game. And you're out of the game at a time when you need to be in the game. In your 50s, 60s, 70s, you need to be in the game. So there's always a workaround, Okay, tip number 3 is start small. So you want to start with the smallest thing possible, which is when you first start deciding on the moves that you're going to do, you want to actually just do it with body weight first, no weights at all. So let's just imagine we're doing a squat. Let's do a squat, and let's just do with no weights, just air squats. If we're doing dead weights, we could just do no weights at all, just for a while. If we are doing bicep curls, or this is next that I'm going to show you in a minute actually, which I love this combo, no weights, but do it in front of a full length mirror, because when you see yourself in front of a full length mirror, then you can see your form. You can teach yourself. You can go, oh, wait a minute, one shoulder's up here and the other is down here. I want you to do it in front of the mirror, looking at your full body form and feeling your core and getting that kind of muscular awareness. That would be the first thing to start small. Then you're going to add a small weight to it. So for instance, I might say to somebody, okay, let's just try with a 3 pound or a 5 pound weight doing something like this simple exercise. Let's even just do a simple bicep curl. That's all we're going to do. Or we'll do this exercise, this combi, which is a bicep and a shoulder press. We're going to do it with a small weight until we understand, you look in front of the mirror and you feel really, really comfortable. You're doing it slowly, the form is good, and you are learning the exercise, whatever the exercise is. Then, so we start it small, but now we're going to go to progressively overloading, and you have to progressively overload. So for this particular exercise, for example, now I might be at a 10 pound weight for this particular exercise, And this might be a little challenging for me to do, let's just say 8 to 10 reps of this. I'm like, oh, okay, this is 8 to 10 reps. This is kind of challenging for me, with 10 pounds, but I am going to have to progressively overload. That means if I'm hanging out at 10 pounds for this particular exercise, and in 6 months' time I haven't progressed, I am not going to grow muscle anymore. It's as simple as that. Start small and then go to progressive overload. So you could start with 3 and then you're going to get to 5 and then 8 and then 10. But you are going to have to do something which is called taking your muscles to failure. That means the last rep of your set, let's say this is rep number 7 and I had planned to do 8. Number 7 is like, I'm almost at failure. I'm going to lose form if I do one more, and then I could maybe squeeze one more in, and I am at failure. That's a sort of fitness term, but it's very, very important as far as progressive overloading is concerned. So we're starting small. Tip number 4 is keep it very simple. So I want you to keep it simple. All these tips blend in together. Because if it's simple, you're going to do it. If it's complicated, you're going to blow it off. You're not going to do it, So what does simple look like? Well, like I've just shown you, you could do this simple exercise here with a 3 or 5 pound. This is a combi move. I love combi moves because it's a bicep curl and a shoulder press all in one. So you could do 8 to 10 reps of that with whatever your weight is. Wait for 30 seconds and repeat 2 more times. Could it get any more simple than that? You can do that in 10 minutes. If it's lower body, you could pick your lower body moves and you can go, I'm going to do something like a suitcase squat, which I love because it's like how you're going to be picking up heavy grocery bags in your 90s. Okay, we could do something like that. And then we could do one more exercise to keep it really simple. Let's see, maybe a sumo squat. Okay, and then we repeat that little set. It's called a superset, and we repeat that 3 times. That's how I want you to keep it simple. You can always over time start dialing in your more fancy moves. There are so many, whether it's going to be your floor chest presses, your glute bridges, your deadlifts, all of those wonderful, wonderful exercises. But how I started to dial this in was to keep it very, very simple, because if it was too much, I would have been, oh, I just can't do it. Okay, so simple. All right, tip number 5 is do it especially when you don't feel like doing it, because you're not going to feel like working out. You're just not. I very rarely do. You've had a hard day, you're tired, you're exhausted, you've got every excuse in your head. But understand that we are not wired to want to expend energy. We're wired to want to go sit on the couch, turn on Netflix and forget about the day with some comfort food and a glass of wine. So just know that whether it's in the morning or whether it's in the afternoon or whether it's in the evening, you're not going to feel like it. And just knowing that and understanding, this is something I teach my beautiful clients all the time. It's called contrary action. We get on and do it, especially when we do not feel like doing it. And the most amazing thing is that when you do that, you will feel so amazing after you've done it. Just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, put on your earbuds, put on your favorite playlist, get that music pumping, that 70s music, that 80s music. Just do your simple sets, and you could just do it before dinner or after you've had your walk in the morning, and you just done and dusted. And it's so empowering. That's what I love about resistance training. It's so deeply empowering. It actually releases these feel-good chemicals, and it actually gives you energy, right? So do it especially when you don't feel like doing it. All right, this takes us to tip number 6. We're almost there. So tip number 6 is stop focusing on the results. If you are looking at the muscles in your arms or looking, wait, I haven't got a ripped six pack yet, stop doing that, because it takes a while. It can take 5 to 6 months for women over the age of 50 to build 1 to 2 pounds of lean muscle mass. It's hard to build lean muscle mass after 50 for women. It really, really is. So stop focusing on the results and focus on the journey, the putting in, what you're putting in right now, how you're feeling when you're doing it, focusing on getting the form right, learning the exercises, focusing on I'm being so consistent, and you will eventually wake up one morning and go, oh, wait a minute, these jeans feel amazing. I can wear a little sleeveless shirt and I feel really proud of my arms, right? But if you're every single day, it's like waiting for the pot to boil. You just got to just let go of that. And then I promise you'll get to a stage, as my clients do, and they're like, wow, the body has most definitely, the body composition has changed significantly, and it's so exciting. And tip number 7, and this is the most important one, is identity. It's about being who you want to be now rather than waiting to be that. So rather than if you're saying, well, I'm going to, when I feel stronger, when I've dealt with this injury, when, I'm not really that person. I'm not really that gym person. As I told you, in my late 40s, I was that. I'm more of a kind of Pilates and gentle and yoga person, right? But I changed the identity of I am somebody who's aging powerfully. And part of that means that I lift heavy. And it's an identity. And when you even say that to yourself, I am aging powerfully. And part of that is that I lift heavy weights. Just saying that, you're giving the direction to your subconscious. Your subconscious is like, okay, we're going to do that. We're carrying that out. We've got directions. You're the captain of the ship. And this is what I teach my clients all the time. Just step into that identity. Be that woman. Be that woman in her 50s or 60s or 70s or however old you are who does that. You are aging on your terms. You're taking control of your health destiny, and you're doing it in the comfort of your own home as well, because then you can be consistent. So that's it from me. I hope you found these tips helpful. I'm so passionate about it, as you know. And if you're somebody who's just like, oh gosh, I'm just so lost on my whole health and wellness journey and fed up, and I've got the inflammation and the belly fat, and I just don't even know where to start, you're welcome to book a complimentary breakthrough session with me and my team. Link is in the description, and we can chat, see where you're at, and see, if the Ignite method is a good fit for you or not. So, happy to discuss that with you. But either way, ladies, get your heavy lifting on. And, whether you're doing it in a gym or whether you're doing it with a trainer or whether you're doing it, in the comfort of your own home, I do advocate for however you do it, set up a little workout station in your home. Just do it, because then there is never an excuse. And a really good example, and I'll finish with this, is during the pandemic, during COVID, I was working with many women. I had, several of clients who were going through my program, and those women got stronger almost than honestly when they had gyms. We couldn't leave our homes. We were all working out at home, but we all did it. And we really learned through that together that setting it up in your home, in an area, don't shove the weights in the cupboard. I've got my weights out here. This is in my daughter's room since she left for college. It's just like, oh, we're going to make up this room. I've got a little mini trampoline over there, a yoga mat over there. But just find somewhere. You don't need a very big area of your home, honestly, and do that, because then there's no excuse. You just open the door, walk in, it's all set up, and you are ready to go. All right, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I've got hundreds of videos pertaining to nutrition, lifestyle, psychology, mindset, to help women over 50 to age powerfully. And I'll see you next time.